record. All right. We back. This is Family Talk. Let's discuss it. I'm your boy B, followed by
Chef Jimbo in the house. And of course, it's another boxing episode, y'all. And we have another special guest. Sal's not here right now, but I know he wants to be here. But this special guest, as well as Sal, he's special to me, close to my heart. He's family. And he's also the founder, the CEO of the Training Effect. Right now with us, we have Coach LB.
Coach LB.
Hello.
Welcome. Hey, Coach LB, we appreciate you stopping by the podcast, chopping it up about this fight with Errol Spence and Garcia. Jimmy, I'm gonna let you roll with it, brother. Let's talk about this fight. It went 12 rounds of unlimited body shots and jabs, and y'all give me y'all perspective on that fight, man. Let me know what's up on that fight.
All right. Well, first, just to explain to the listeners, oh man, you know what? We should have had clips of the fight to throw up here too.
Yeah, we should.
Man. It's all good.
Lessons.
Yes.
Most definitely.
The fight that we're talking about, everybody, is Errol Spence Jr. versus Danny Garcia. This fight actually took place two weeks ago.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But this was just our first time being able to get a chance to do this video. And we're just going to go over this. And I am going to start out with a couple. First off, it was a good fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Beginning to end. But I just want to say a couple things. We're going to start off talking about Danny Garcia a little bit. Then we're going to break down Errol Spence Jr. as well. And we're just going to go from there. So to start off, Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia was holding his own for the first half of the fight, in my personal opinion.
Think so?
Because look, if you go back, he was hitting Errol Spence just not much more, but he was getting a couple clean punches on Errol Spence like the first 4 or 5 rounds. Then after that, nothing. Like it's like he was punching air. And I think that's where it shows the stamina. And I also think that has a lot to do with Errol Spence breaking down. Like Errol Spence was attacking his body. Mm-hmm. He was taking the punishment with a lot of those body shots, but that's Errol Spence Jr.'s style. Mm-hmm. And at first, and I think it started to break down on him. And you can clearly see that. You can look at his body language. He was getting discouraged a little bit. He wasn't the same, but also another thing that I want to give Danny Garcia a lot of credit on is if you watch any of his fights, this was the first fight that I saw him. He moved a lot. He had, because normally he's a fighter where, he just sits there, and a lot of people say he has power in both hands, but he has power in both hands because he just sits there and he counters you, but he has all of his weight behind those punches because he's not really moving much.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I want to give him credit because clearly his trainer, his strength and conditioning trainer, his dad, which is his actual trainer, mm-hmm. and himself and his team, clearly they were like, hey, we got to move a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Because Errol Spence was going to move him whether he wanted to move or not. So he kind of got the program.
Yeah, I felt like Garcia moved very well, especially early in probably about rounds 1 through 4. I think he moved very well. I also felt like he was hesitant at first, but of course with boxing,
he's a counterpuncher. He's a
counterpuncher. Okay. So I mean, y'all the boxing guys. Coach LB, what was your thoughts? As far as how Garcia went through the process.
I feel as if Garcia was out of his element, man. Like Chef Jimmy said, Garcia is more so he's the type of guy to sit and he just punches from the gunner box, meaning that he's just here, and he gets his weight behind his punches well because he's just here. He doesn't move at all. So now when you're fighting a fighter such as Errol Spence, you gotta move because guess what? He's gonna force you to move. Mm-hmm. There's no standing and just throwing punches with Errol Spence because Errol Spence is like a lumberjack. He's going straight for the torso, chopping the wood. He's bringing you down the sides. So getting punched and Danny Garcia getting punched by Errol Spence. You have to understand that Spence himself, he can take a punch.
Mm-hmm.
He can take a punch. He can take a punch well, and he's conditioned to go into those latter rounds. I saw in that fight, I saw the energy leave from Garcia in the latter rounds. So when he didn't have that staying power, then that became the issue. So the punches, they had zip, they had pop on them at first. In the later rounds, they didn't have that same pop and that same zip that was on them in the earlier rounds. So I mean, his corner did a good job. But to be honest, I feel as if Errol Spence, he outboxed Danny Garcia.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I completely. I was telling Jimmy before before we jumped on here on our earlier meeting, was that Spence controlled the whole fight from start to finish. He controlled the whole.
He was a dictator. He
Right.
dictated that whole fight,
Right.
man.
He's like, you're gonna do what I want you to do in this ring right now.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
Absolutely.
when you can walk in the square circle like that and then say, "Hey, you're gonna do what I want you to do." That's phenomenal. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
And I want to add something else.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know how many Danny Garcia fights you guys have watched. I really, really, really like. I love seeing a father-son duo. I love that in the sport of boxing. It's
man.
Mm-hmm.
But I really think his dad, man. I think it's time for his dad to back up. Let somebody.
Why you say that though?
I'll break it down to you. Okay, I don't know how many Danny Garcia fights y'all saw, but I know when he was 140, he dominated 140.
Mm-hmm.
He came to 145, the welterweight division, which is the weight class that they fought at 2 weeks ago for this particular fight. In this weight division, Danny is good. He's up there. He's one of the top tier welterweights, clearly. And his only 3 losses have come from 3 of the top dudes: Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, and now Errol Spence Jr. But and I think he'll be a top tier welterweight regardless. But it's like he can't compete with them at their level. You know, it's like they're here and he's almost there, but it's like he can't break through.
Surface, yeah.
Yeah, and I from what I see and what I know about him, I just feel like maybe he just needs to try something new, because clearly his father, I'm guessing they've trained the same way for God knows how long. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I don't know how willing his father is to try something new, or if his father knows how to try something new. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
That's my perspective on that.
I mean, like you said, Chef Jimmy, you're a fan for father-son tandems. You look at Mayweather and his father, look at Porter and his father. You know, there's great tandems, and in a sense, I agree with you as well, because when you become habitual in boxing, depending on, well, it changes from fighter to fighter, from match to match. You never want to become habitual. You know what I mean? As far as like your training regimen goes, and I'm quite sure that Garcia and his father have I saw a couple snippets of him training with his father. They have a very strict training regimen, but that training regimen fell flat in regards to fighting Errol Spence. You have to change up your whole game plan. You have to change up your whole game plan fighting Errol Spence. You can't stay the same with Errol Spence. Maybe you spending 7 to 8 hours in the gym. It may be time to pull time and a half, not 12 hours in the gym, because you fighting a fighter that's top tier, like you said, top tier. He's been here 145, so he's comfortable here in 145. He's comfortable, but he's hungry still. You know what I mean? As opposed to a new guy that's coming into 145 and he's been fighting at 140. Those 5 pounds make a huge difference.
Right.
You know, and you've been comfortable here. You've been dominating at 140, so you come to 145. You haven't been dominating in 145. It's very new for you, very, very new for you. And the lights are different. The crowd is different. You're the same, but you have a 5-pound weight gain that you put on. But you're fighting a whole nother man across that ring, and he understands that he's here to perform. He's not thinking about his dad in the corner. He's not thinking about the crowd. He's not thinking about the lights. He's thinking about execution of the plan that he's trained for so long.
Right.
So,
And then just to add, and y'all can bite off of this as well. And just to go back with what Jimmy said, that you feel like he should try something new so he can break that barrier. That kind of goes into every sport. You can't always be the same. Look at the New England Patriots. You know what I'm saying? They've been the same ways for so long, and once they have a break of transition, they look totally different. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, can you elaborate a little bit more on that, Jimmy, when you say
– man.
What's that?
You would throw the Patriots in there, wouldn't you?
It's the best example I got.
He's got the Eagle memorabilia on.
I know, right? It's the best way this is the best way I can think, especially trying to connect what y'all saying about, the father-son tandem, and they've been doing it for so long. That's something they're used to, you know what I'm saying? Right. But in order to get into that inner tier that you feel like you need to be in, something may have to change. A lot of people don't like change. And I totally agree with both of y'all. Maybe Pop's got to step back just a tad bit and be like, all right, let's do a little bit something different. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we can execute our game plan. We can have the same game plan, but there's different levels to the game plan. You know what I'm saying? That's right. So that's what I took from it. And I totally agree. I totally agree with that aspect. So with that being said, where does each fighter go from here? I know I will ask Jimmy.
We can talk about Errol Spence shit. Don't skip over my guy.
That's right.
Now. Don't be disrespectful.
I'm an Errol Spence fan. I am. I'm a big Errol Spence fan. So we can't skip over him.
Okay, so let's not.
Nate's not here.
Listen, I got to get you going, Jim. You already got me going with the who's the most high this morning. So you already got me going. So I got to get you going. So let's talk about Errol Spence before my question comes along. But let's talk about Errol Spence. What did y'all see from him in this fight? From my standpoint, what I saw, like I said, he controlled the whole fight from start to finish. A lot of body blows. And from my understanding, like I said, y'all more equipped with the boxing than I am, but from my understanding, he's a body blow boxer. You know what I mean? So what was y'all outtake on Errol Spence on that fight 2 weeks ago?
All right. First off, let me start by boosting my guy.
He's smiling already.
I know, right?
Hey,
he's happy to say it.
Listen, like, y'all already know him. He's one of my favorite fighters.
Right.
And I've been trying to tell people for 4 or 5 years, or anybody who wanted to listen, like, his nickname is the Truth for a reason. Like, this guy is literally, he's head and shoulders above so many people in the boxing world right now. I really wish he was around when Floyd was here, man, because that would be an amazing fight, bro. But first off, so if you didn't know, now you know. I'm an Errol Spence guy.
You got to plug that in, huh, Jimmy?
Hey, I got to. That's my thing. You don't even get to pay me. I give him that plug,
I got you.
But I was saying, as opposed to exactly what you said, Errol Spence, that's his identity. If you go back and watch all of his first fights, he breaks your body down, man. And when he breaks your body down, he go head hunting. Right. And I'm so thrilled to find out, because I watched a lot of his interviews. He's getting back with his strength and conditioning trainer called Blu-ray. With that guy, they had every time they have a active streak going on, 15 knockouts every time he trains with this guy. He hasn't trained with him during the Garcia fight, Mikey Garcia fight, Sean Porter fight. I think he didn't train with him with Lamont Peterson either. So those 4 fights that he didn't train with, his last 4 fights that he didn't get knockouts in. And like I was telling Coach LB when we were working out, his trainer was saying, like, just a warm up for their workout of 700 push-ups and a couple more things. And he showed one of his videos of some of the stuff that they do, and it's outrageous, bro. It's outrageous, some of the stuff that they do. I'm like, holy cow,
And
Like,
not to cut in. I took Chef Jimmy through a workout,
Uh-huh.
and it's all for power. It's all for power,
Uh-huh.
but the way that it's set up, you don't think about the push-ups that you're doing. You don't think about it because it goes so fast.
Uh-huh.
So that type of workout is for soul strength. Any person that's whether you play tennis, whether it be basketball, whatever it may be, you boxing, you should be doing push-ups, but you should be focusing on strength, but also the conditioning of the muscles for that strength.
Right.
So I feel as if in that fight, Errol Spence, I feel as if, and a lot of people probably won't agree with me when I say this,
Mm-hmm.
I feel as if Errol Spence was supposed to knock Danny Garcia out.
yes, he was
And
supposed.
watching the fight, I was waiting for that moment. Like you
You
can
see what I'm
feel
saying?
like,
He
yeah,
took his foot off the gas. You could see it.
right, right.
He took his foot
Round
off the
8
gas and
to
he didn't
12.
capitalize on Garcia's
Yeah.
mistakes. He was supposed to knock him out, knock him down twice, and
Mm-hmm.
knock him out.
Yep.
Right. And I
100%.
felt that. And I agree with you, Coach LB. Watching it and how he was breaking them down through the rounds, you're waiting on it. Like it's going to happen here
Mhm.
pretty soon. But like you say, he didn't capitalize on the
Yeah, he didn't
mistakes.
capitalize. Don't wait. When you it's like for instance, when hyenas when they surround something, whether
Mm-hmm.
they're prey, you know, and they got them hurt,
Mm-hmm.
they wait for a little bit and then they capitalize.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same way. You have to capitalize. You have to capitalize on that opportunity. If it's a
Mm-hmm.
little blood, make him bleed.
Right.
Go take it from a little blood to a whole lot of blood. That dam's about to burst. Go ahead and bust it wide open. That's what
Right.
he should have done. Like you said, I was waiting for that the whole fight. I'm like, and when you gonna knock him down?
Right. Right. Same here.
When you gonna drop him? Because not to bring up old fights, but when he fought Sean Porter, I think he dropped him with a what was it, Chef Jimmy, was it a left? He dropped Sean Porter with,
Yep. He
and
jumped.
I was waiting for that moment. I was
Mhm.
waiting for that moment. I'm like this. I'm on the edge of the couch. I'm
Right.
like,
Like when it's gonna happen.
yeah, and I'm like, he didn't capitalize the way he was supposed to because there was a lot of punches that whizzed by his head,
Mm-hmm.
and those punches whizzed by, and he was supposed to come right over top,
Mm-hmm.
or at least go to the bottom, go to the body, and then come back to the head.
Right.
So
But
Totally agree.
also with Earl, Coach LB, correct me if I'm wrong. I think a lot of his jabs were a little lazy to me. Like in the later part, it looked like a lot of his jabs were lazy. Am I the only one that caught that?
no, I saw that. I was like, what's wrong with him?
Yeah.
I
Right.
saw those. I'm like, what's wrong with him? And I don't know if it's from not training with his strength and conditioning coach, or I mean, to me personally, and him being a southpaw fighter,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he got lazy with the jab, but sometimes fighters become lazy with their jab because they become fatigued.
Right.
Yeah, he was
So when,
fatigued. Like
yeah,
you
he
could
was fatigued. He was
Right.
fatigued, and I saw a different Errol Spence from the Porter fight to the Garcia fight. There was a different Errol Spence because when he fought Sean Porter, you saw that fight. They were going at it.
Mm-hmm.
They were going at it.
but
So
right, he fought Sean Porter's fight. You know what I'm saying?
he fought Sean Porter's fight, and the thing that was so hard, it's so hard to fight Sean Porter is because he's short.
Mhm.
You know, he's short. He's shorter than Errol Spence. So a lot of the punches that they call low blows is because his torso is like this long and it's
Yeah.
short, so to his chest. So it's like, all right, you hit him in the trunks, but they call it a low blow. But enough of that fight. Back to the Garcia fight. I agree with you, Chef Jimmy. A lot of his punches, or a lot of his jabs were lazy. They were heavy. They were heavy and slow. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not used to seeing that from Errol Spence.
I'm about to say he got your jabs. He got them sharp jabs.
Yeah.
You got your
So I'm
jab.
like, and that's what I love about him. His jab is like, it's like that razor. It's like that barbershop razor.
Mm-hmm.
It's fresh and it's every time, every time. So I'm used to seeing that from Errol Spence. And when I didn't see, I'm like, oh, he's tired, man.
Yeah.
He's tired.
Yeah.
But you train the distance and pass the distance so that you don't get tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
You was gonna say something? B?
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Okay, and also I got my notes here. Um, I instead of Earl Spence, actually I like it because I watch a lot of box training and I watch a lot of old school trainers and how they teach people. And one of the things that they teach is uh, make sure your jab is good and make sure you know how to block the jab. And I saw in this fight, Errol was blocking. I don't know if the average person saw it, but Errol was blocking a lot.
He was.
Of this dude punches.
He was.
And I'm like this dude is sharp. This dude is focused. Like he not even like he just block.
That's right.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So can I say my question now, Jimmy? Did we get to your boy?
Oh no! I still got 3 more points that we need to talk about.
We got 3 more points.
I got a list with Errol now.
He's starting to feel like LeBron James up in here.
Listen, I love Errol. Like
I know you do.
He's the truth, man.
I know you do.
And okay, he also we pretty much already spoke about it. He took the fight. He took the fight to Danny from the beginning.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
We briefly spoke about that earlier, so
absolutely.
We don't have to stay on that too long.
Absolutely.
Also, I think this is another good key thing when it comes to boxing. When Errol got hit, the majority of the time he returned the hit too. So when Danny hit him, he gave something back to Danny.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's key as well from a lot of the research and what I've been watching of good fighters, great fighters. If you disagree, I know Coach LB will say something, but also, and we already know Errol beat him. Listen, Errol beat this man with his jab. The fight, whole fight. He destroyed him with his jab. Not only did he destroy his body, he destroyed him with his jab, and he beat him with his jab. And you don't see that too often anymore in the sport right now. So I think that was very, very impressive, just to show his skill that I think a lot of people might have missed. So I was telling Brandon before we started, when Errol first was coming up, people were saying, "Oh, he's a bully." But Errol was saying, "No, like I can box. I just haven't met anybody to switch up my skill set yet." Right. And he fought Mikey Garcia. He outboxed the Mikey Garcia to the boxing world was the Mexican Floyd Mayweather. And he outboxed him. The dude didn't win not one round in that fight. He demolished him. And it was crazy. And but to see him win that fight with his jab, I just think about the true science of boxing, skill, technique, and you can still win that way. You know what I'm saying? So, and now I'm going to Spence if LB want to add something.
Man, when you get down, like you said, when you fought Mikey Garcia, when you just get down to the fundamentals of boxing, and you don't stray from those fundamentals, the jab is something that's so important. If a fighter doesn't have a jab, then he's really got himself nothing. You need to understand the jab and how the jab works. The jab is to not only keep the opponent at bay, but it's also meant to score points. When we get down to the rudimentary element of boxing, it's all about scoring points.
Right.
And scorecard.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You good?
Oh, I was going to say, just to tag on about the scoring points. A lot of people look at boxing and they think, okay, I just got to jump in here with some gloves on and hit this dude. No, there's a what's the word I'm looking for? There's an art to this.
Right.
There's an art to this. You just don't jump in and it's like, okay, I'm just gonna throw a couple jabs, see if I can hit them. Like you said, it's more so about scoring points. It's not about you coming out trying to throw a haymaker and that's it. No, that's not how boxing works.
And I tell Chef Jimmy all the time that you can play basketball, you can play soccer, you can play tennis, but you cannot play boxing. You cannot play boxing. It's not something that you play, even though it's considered a competitive sport.
Right.
It's more so a competitive art because you have to understand why you're in the ring. Before you get into the ring, while you're training for the ring, you have to be in boxing shape. Just like when you get onto a football field, you have to be in football shape too. You can't just go out there and play 4 quarters of football. It's a contact sport.
Right.
Boxing, you have to train, man. And people look at on all the social media platforms, they look at all the fancy mitt work from different people that you see. Okay, cool. That's good that you're doing mitt work and you can hit the mitts and cadence and different stuff like that. But those mitts don't hit back. What happens when you get in front of a fighter and an actual person and they throw a jab just like you throw a jab, and guess what? Those gloves are 12 ounces, and that punch hurts.
Right. Right.
I mean, can you take the punch? Can you not only give the punch but take the punch? So a lot of people forget that. So it's just the rudimentary element, man, of scoring points. And you've heard the ref many times because you watch many fights. Protect yourself at all times is the instructions that's given out. Protect yourself. So that means not get hit. You're gonna get hit, but let's try to slow down the blows that you're taking. You know what I mean? And let's stay on top of this fighter, not let him hit you. You hit him. That's how you score. Compete box. That's how you get onto the cards, by scoring points.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. So go ahead.
One of the examples I like to give, because it's an awesome boxing example now, the Mayweather versus McGregor fight.
Hey, we laugh about it, but that's a perfect example about everything you just said. You know what I mean? Conor, he trained himself. He had that cadence. He did everything he did, but like you said, those bags didn't hit back.
Bags didn't hit back.
Floyd hit back. You know what I mean?
Floyd hit back, and not only did Floyd hit back, and it hurt.
Yes.
It hurt. And he's fancy putting his hands behind his back. He clinching when they were hitting him in the back of the head like he's still in the octagon. And in those latter rounds, see, Mayweather's a strategist, man. You have to have strategy. He took him out into that deep water. Now let's go under the water. Come out of the water. Let's go back under the water. McGregor can swim, but he can't. He's only good for swimming those laps. He's not good for swimming that distance. You know what I mean? So when we saw that, then what's the first thing you heard the commentator say? Oh, he's got no legs. He's got no legs. Got no legs, man. You need legs, man. A lot of guys, I like to call the mitt work. The mitt work is really the roof of the building. The foundation of that building, the cement of that building, that has to be strength and conditioning. That has to be not mitt work, but you have to do footwork, man. Your footwork has to be on point, but your legs have to be strong. Your base has to be strong. Your core has to be strong. You can't just go in this ring and throw these punches, because that's not what it's meant to do, and that's not the type of sport that this is. This is an art, man, from start to finish. And those who don't respect it as such, they face the consequences.
It's absolutely. Jimmy, I think you was gonna add something before we went into that.
Oh no, when y'all done, I was just gonna go into a couple points I got from the press conference.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about that press conference. Go ahead.
All right. I think it was really beautiful too to see the difference between Danny and his dad. Danny came into the press conference, and he's light skinned. You're gonna see a lot of his marks easily, but you can tell that left side of his face from that jab was, oh man, he got ate up. Yeah. Danny came in so humble, and I'm glad I watched it, because to me that was a different Danny than the Danny that I saw versus the Keith Thurman and the Sean Porter, because he felt like he won those fights. Which actually both of those fights could have went either way. But he came in humble, and he was saying, like, pretty much like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I lost the fight. He beat me with his jab. I couldn't get past his jab. I couldn't block his jab. I couldn't do nothing with his jab. He defeated me with his jab, number one. And then his dad, like, oh, no. You just weren't throwing no punches. You just went. And I'm like, like his dad, he's so, I'm like, dude, he lost hands down. Nobody argued that. Right. And you're still, oh no, you could have won if you did this, but listen, he lost. He lost. Your son knows he lost. Let's just go back to the drawing board. And, like, dude, like, stop. His dad talked so much. I'm like, dude, just stop talking.
But Jimmy, that goes back to say what you said earlier about maybe there's another route that Garcia needs to take as far as his dad is concerned. You know what I'm saying? His dad is still in that mindset of, this is how we should do it. You didn't do it to how we pronounced to do it. But
like I'm saying, keep your dad, but bring somebody else to teach him something new as well.
Exactly. That ties into everything you were talking about earlier about that.
That'll be a hard one though, man. To step aside and allow somebody else.
Right. Yeah. Especially you've been doing it so long with your pops. You know what I'm saying? To tell him to ease back a little bit.
Yeah, Angel, he's very vocal. He gonna let you know.
I might start a fight in itself, man.
Exactly.
Start a fight in itself, man.
That's tough.
It's my son. You know how dads are. It's my son. Ain't nobody training him but me.
Exactly. That's tough.
So,
that's tough.
Yeah.
So
especially
go ahead, Coach.
Especially to try to come into their gym and teach them, man.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's hard, man. That's a hard pill to swallow, man.
So,
but
Chef Jimbo, I didn't watch the interviews after the fight. What did Spence have to say surrounding the victory? I wasn't too sure on what happened after the fight.
Well, Spence pretty much said that he was going to go back to his strength and conditioning coach, Blu-ray. Okay. That's why I was super excited. And then I also saw an interview with Blu-ray with another boxing podcast the next day after. And he said Errol Spence, first his dad called him, Errol Spence's father, Errol Spence Sr. called him, said, hey, I want you to get back with my son because when my son with you, I see a difference. But he said, I'm more than willing, because he said him and Errol Spence, they like brothers. He said, I'm more than willing to come back, but I need your son to call me because you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't tell your son what to do.
Right.
So he said he got a call from Errol. Errol bought him a ticket to the fight, flew him out there to the fight. Wait, he ain't flew him out. He stays in Dallas as well. But he went to the fight from Errol, and Errol say, hey, and I follow him on Twitter too. He put it on Twitter too. He said, I'm going back to my strength and conditioning coach. Because he said he was trying to save money, do it himself, but you could see the difference when he had Blu-ray and when he didn't. And he also said that he was tired. He said I follow him on social media. He did a lot of running, but he said he wasn't as well conditioned as he thought. He said he doesn't know he said he worked his butt off, but he said maybe it had to do with him not fighting in over a year because of the car accident.
The car accident, yeah.
So, but he said that he believes that he'll be a whole lot better come his next fight. A whole lot better condition, more strength, and so. And he also, kudos to him, because he said that Danny was his second toughest opponent that he's ever fought to this day.
Okay.
I like his spirit, man. Errol Spence is very humble, but he's very determined as well. So I'm a big fan of Errol Spence. I like his work ethic, and I like the fact that he's not afraid to admit, because where we are in this day and age, men, we become it's so much bravado, so much bravado. Oh, I'm not hurt, or I can do this myself. And sometimes you can't do it yourself, man.
Exactly.
Sometimes you need people around you. You need men around you that hold you accountable. And not only that, they push you. You need to be challenged and pushed in a healthy way. So,
absolutely. I love it. Any more points on that fight, fellas?
Yeah, and also just throw in DSG Danny. He also said that because somebody asked him about what's the difference between Errol, Keith, and Sean Porter, and he said that Sean Porter, he said that Errol Spence is stronger than both of them. He said that his jab hurts. He said he has a stronger jab, a better jab than both of them. And he said he's more of a complete fighter than Sean Porter and Keith Thurman. Because, those are the other two top welterweights in the game besides them. And of course, Terrence Crawford. But he say Earl hands down is better than both of them since he fought all three of them. One of the people. So,
man, I really do wish you would have had some clips though, Chef Jimmy, because it's some things I want to show you guys. But it's like, man, because Errol Spence did a really good job. He took some punches, like I said earlier. He took some punches, but he slipped a lot of punches too, just to show like his resilience. Even when taking a punch square in the head, the next punch he slips it easily, no problem. He just like a magician in the sword. So
yeah.
We could work on that for the next episode.
I was
there
just
you
gonna say
go.
that the next episode we're gonna work on that because I would love to have some clips and have Coach LB go through that process and go through that notion on what's happening in this moment, what's going on in this moment. We're definitely because it's gonna be more boxing to come. So yeah, like it's,
Absolutely.
it's more boxing to come. So we definitely gonna work on getting some clips on the show so we can have a professional and Coach LB, show us, explain to us what's going on within the fight and how, what's a boxer's mindset while they're going through this and all that type stuff. So we're definitely gonna bring that back to the flow for it.
Absolutely, I'm excited, man. I'm excited about this.
Yes, sir.
So Coach, go ahead and tell our listeners and what's your handles for Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever you got.
Yeah, where can they find you at? Yeah.
You can find me on Facebook, The Training Effect by LB, Lenoris Brown. You can find me on Instagram, The Training Effect by LB. You can find me on Snapchat, The Training Effect by LB. You can find me on Triller, The Training Effect by LB. You can find me on Twitter. You can find it's all the social, and you can even find me on Pinterest. All under the same title, all under the same name, The Training Effect by LB. Yeah, man. I'm on there, man. I'm on there, and I'm very active, and I post a lot of different workouts and exercises, and
not to mean to cut you off. I saw that push-up video. And you know what I said? I was like, man, listen, I ain't never seen one man do that many push-ups in that many forms in that many ways. You know what I mean? I done been around sports. I done been around exercising. I've never seen that. So kudos to whatever you like, the push-up and the moving of the dumbbell and then the push-up, the jumping, whatever you was doing, brother. I've never seen it.
and I got more.
Oh my god!
And I got more.
When you coming down?
I'm coming down. Christmas Eve. We leaving Christmas Eve.
So, guess what?
What's up?
You come get that work in with us then.
Hey, I'm a man of my word, and I'm not putting my word on it. I'm a man of my word, and I'm not putting my word on it.
I thought he was going to say, coming out. He got me.
Hey,
he'll take it easy on you, bro.
That one, man. Yeah, I promise, man.
He'll take it easy on you.
Yeah, I take it easy on you, man. It's not like I'm trying to put you through lines, take you from kindergarten to 12th grade in the same day. No, it's not like that for me. But Chef Jimmy, yeah, I put him in the fire, man, because that's what I expect from him.
But that's why I asked you before we jumped on the show, where you're gonna be doing online videos. You know what I'm saying? Because I stay here in South Dakota, so I wouldn't mind jumping online, and I got to get myself fit. And then not just fit for just to be fit, just I got to get my health in line. I got to be here alone for my children. You know what I'm
Absolutely,
saying?
and that's what we're training for. I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not training to be Mr. Universe or anything like that. I'm training for everyday life.
Right.
I'm a father. I'm a husband. Right. So I'm training for those who don't train, but at the same time, it's like, if they don't get up and get it, nobody's gonna get it for them. Right. But I'm like that guy at the buffet. If they still giving it out, I'm still taking it. You know what I mean? Right. So I gotta get it, man. So
absolutely.
I get excited about training. Training is something that's always on my mind, and I have so many notes on how to make this exercise better, or how I can do this exercise. You can ask Chef Jimmy. Chef Jimmy knows. He's been to. We've been in it, and he's. And the thing I love about Chef Jimmy is that he doesn't have any quit in him. I've seen, a lot of different guys. They come and they're like, Albert, I want to train, and we haven't even made it through the stretches yet. And they like, you eyes wandering over here. You gotta stay focused. It's a mindset, man. And it's something I say all the time. I post that as well. Prosperity or poverty starts in the mind. Right. So you have to tell yourself and allow yourself to think, but not only think. Let's think thoughts of prosperity. Being healthy physically is a prosperous mindset. that leads over to you being. It has to start here first, though. So you have to be healthy in the mind before you can be healthy in the body.
Absolutely.
Because we don't want to lift dumbbells and be considered a dumbbell.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
want,
Yeah.
I want to lift or push up or pull up or whatever the case may be. I want to do it not only because it helps me look good, but it makes me feel good. And our bodies are vessels, man. Our bodies
Right.
are vessels, so
Right.
take care of that vessel.
Absolutely.
Because I look at a lot of different things that we do as fathers. I have a 7 and 11 year old, 11 and 7 year old. My son's 11, my daughter's 7. Man, I have to be able to jump, run, flip, kick, twist, spin with them,
Right.
and then they don't have time for, uh, oh, daddy not feeling good today, or whatever the case. Daddy has to perform.
Right.
Daddy has to
Right.
perform every day. So
Exactly.
I try to keep myself in tip top condition, man.
Awesome. Bet. Bet.
Hey,
Bet. Bet.
when he come down, we gotta get him to do at least at least do it 2 times. The new exercise that you made up, man. That thing,
Oh
man.
man,
Oh my
oh
god.
man.
Oh, I
I
love that.
did that yesterday. I did that yesterday, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I did that and some other stuff. Um, yeah, we definitely got to at least get him to try it at least twice.
So okay. 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 Okay.
At
What is
least
it?
twice. That's
What is
all. I
it?
can't.
We,
I can't
uh,
tell you on here.
hey, we
uh,
can't
I
tell
can't
you
tell you.
online. We can tell you offline, but
okay. I got
I
you. I
tell you
got you.
offline. I can't tell you on
I
here.
got
Yeah,
you. I got
man.
you. I got you. I got you. I got you. But I know you had a couple questions, Jimmy.
no, you go ahead. We got a couple of the same. You go ahead. You can ask them.
Okay. Okay. So question for you, Coach LB.
Hmm?
Um, and then we talked about it a little bit before we got on the podcast.
Hmm.
What inspired you to not only train but also involve yourself within boxing, and what keeps you motivated while going through that process?
Where do I start? As far as training goes, man, it's just something that I've always had a passion for. I've always had a passion for understanding the human body and how the human body works, and why some people, why their fat content is higher than others. Those are just different things that have always went through my mind. Or how come this person is more muscular than this person? How come this person is more sinewy than this person? These are always questions that I've had. So what I did is I went and I started to learn,
Mm-hmm.
and applying that method to myself, because I've never been a really big dude. I've
Mm-hmm.
always been small. So in high school, lifting weights, we had mandatory weightlifting class.
Mm-hmm.
So lifting weights and seeing other guys how they got results immediately. It's like they look at the weights and got bigger. Me, my metabolism is super fast, and I couldn't put on weight. So as I got older, I learned that my body's not meant to be like super big bulky guy. It's never meant to be like that. So it just experience is like the best teacher.
Right.
So learning that and always just learning the different body types and the different body groups is something that always just piqued my interest. And seeing some people who don't want to work out, and then others that work out, and just being able to spark those who don't want to work out and help them work out. Or some people who have, they have gym memberships,
Right.
but they don't know how to work out. They go to the gym, but they spend 45 minutes to an hour on a treadmill. It's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong, because you're being active, but I'm more so in it for, like I told you earlier, my whole pursuit of this is to make physical fitness common knowledge with the people. So
Right.
that's my whole pursuit. My whole angle is to help people get as healthy as they want to be, and to be able to just spread the knowledge of health.
Awesome. Awesome. And what about boxing? Has boxing always been the centerpiece of the fitness, or just elaborate a little more bit more on your journey with boxing?
Well, I started boxing, man, when I was probably like 5 or 6, and
Basically
I
all
don't
your
know.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something that I've always been involved with. So
Right.
I started hitting the bag,
Mm-hmm.
and is something that I've always been drawn to. Um, Chef Jimmy will tell you, you went to school with me as well. I've always
Right.
been. Like I said, I was never big,
Right. Right.
so like football and different stuff like that, basketball and different stuff like that. I played it because I was athletic, but boxing was just something that I was super competitive. it's super hard, and
Fighting
it
everybody
challenged
in
me
the city.
mentally. It challenged me mentally, so it's something I just stuck with, and I was like, you know what, I love it, you know, and I never felt that way about anything, like even training for it, the whole training for it, or sparring or hitting the heavy bag or hitting the speed bag, it's just so fun, you know,
Right.
and I've always had fun doing it, so I never felt that fun or that desire to box. I never felt it ebb. It's always been the same, so it never changed for me. Even seeing, like, if I see it on TV, it's just watching it. It just does something to me. You know, it's like it's
Right.
my first love. So
That's what's up. That's what's up. Anything else to add, Jimmy?
Um, when you work people out, what would you say is the most important muscle, or that you would work, that you would focus on the more regarding people? Does it vary, or is it all the same for everybody?
it varies. You know, everybody I said earlier, everybody doesn't have the same body. Everybody's body is different.
Right. Right.
So, you know, you look at a guy like yourself or a guy like myself, okay, we're active. So I'm gonna take you through the same workout that I do. You know, we're gonna do full body. We're gonna go. We're not gonna just work one specific muscle because we're not bodybuilders. We're not trying to get the most definition out of this. We want to do an exercise or a workout that's geared towards functionality. So we want to
Mm-hmm.
be able to be functional and be able to move. So we're gonna do cardio. We're gonna do plyometrics. We're gonna do calisthenics all in one session, one 45-minute session. We're gonna get it all done. And this might be you remember we did fireman carries, skater lunges. We do it all. Pull-ups, pause, pull-ups, dumbbell press, dumbbell squats with a Bosu ball, whatever it may be. We're gonna get that done, and we're not only gonna get it done, we're gonna get it done correctly. We're gonna get it done correctly, and it's gonna be a knowledge. We're gonna spread the knowledge. And while I train, I teach. So
Right.
that's the
Right.
most important part for me because we can have an athlete all day, but we want this athlete to understand why he or she is doing the exercise that is required of him. Because you want to be able to do this exercise and you want to be able to do it efficiently, but you want to be able to allow this exercise to carry over into whatever sport you may play.
Right.
And I would say too, because I train with you, and I think what would separate you and many others from the people who really doesn't love what they're doing, or
Hmm.
who really doesn't care about their clients or people in that way, is that you actually do everything you tell me to do. You do it with me. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? You
Right.
if
You're not just sitting there watching.
Yeah,
Right.
he'd be like, Jimbo, we're gonna do 4 sets of this. He'll start off, or tell me to start off, and then he right behind me.
Right.
Hmm.
And I really love working out with him too, because he's not focused on, all right, let's get this done. He's like, nah, he's focused on what I'm focused on, like technique,
Hmm.
the right form. And if I don't, he'd be like, yo, straighten this up, straighten this up.
Hmm.
I love that. And
Mm-hmm.
because, I know with me trying to learn boxing and get in shape to step into the ring with somebody, I know, I see, and I know from my studying of boxing how important technique is, and
Right.
make sure your form is right, the
Hmm.
way you throw that punch is right. So
Hmm.
Right.
that's what I
Right.
value the most from when I'm working out with you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
That's awesome.
I don't. That's one thing I just like. I pride myself on that is just being. It's cool. You know, you've probably heard it 1,000 times because it's super cliche. It's quality over quantity,
Right.
but more so because a lot of guys don't understand what that means. Like you said, they just rush through. They just rush through exercises, and they don't even tell you about the technique. You know,
Right.
that's why whenever we're doing pull-ups, push-ups, whatever it may be, I always let Chef Jimmy know, hey, incorporate your glutes, incorporate your core, because these things are important. You punch, whenever you punch with your core. It's not just the legs or the shoulders. It has to come through the base. It has to come through the core. You need your core. Your core is so important. And now in that aspect, whoever the athlete is or whoever the person is, they could just be a sports enthusiast. They don't necessarily have to be an athlete. you need core. Your core has to be strong. Your core has to be strong to do the exercises that you're trying to do. And a lot of people just, oh, I don't need abs. I've heard people say that. I don't know if you guys have ever heard a person say that. You definitely need your abs.
Mm-hmm.
You need abs to sneeze. You need abs to cough. You need abs to, use the restroom. Whatever it may be, you need your abs.
Right.
And you need them to be strong. You need them to be strong. You take care of your abs will take care of you.
Awesome. That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, with that being said, because I see we're running out of time here, I just want to thank Coach L. Oh, Jimmy, you got something for me? Yeah.
I just got to throw it out there. And this mug right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy. Chef Jimbo.
I want to make sure that y'all read this mug too. By the way, it says "Live with a Purpose," and the reason why I want to point that out too, because these are the conversations that myself, LB, another brother that we work out with, Adrian and Will. This pretty much how we encourage each other every time. We know, making sure that we got a goal on what it is, that we got a purpose on what it is that we're doing.
Right.
But
absolutely,
the bigger note, my brother, I put it on Facebook and Instagram a couple of days ago. He made some tea for me. You don't have to put the ingredients in out there in the world, but the tea is really good, man. The tea is really good. I like it and I enjoy it. I appreciate you for making it. I just gotta let it work. You're a trainer, you're a boxer. My man made tea.
Hey, we Kermit the Frogging up in here. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Oh, we
did we lose Coach?
Uh-oh.
Might have lost Coach for a split second here. Let's see.
Well, until he come back, but that tea really good. I was telling him, I'm like, man, you got to bottle that tea, man.
Yeah.
Put that in the bottle, because I told him, if I could get some more from him when you come, I told him.
I'm about to say, if we can get some when I get there, I absolutely want to try it. I definitely want to try it.
Yeah, because that tea is better than a lot of the tea that I've tasted on the shelf, and and then everything in is natural, like tea leaves and organic honey and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. If we can get them to see if we can snag me a little bit of it, I definitely want to try it.
Yeah.
So
man, you come out here, man. Hopefully you can get on. Oh, he said his laptop died.
Oh, laptop died. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll just keep talking till he come back home.
Absolutely.
He's charging it up.
No problem. Laptop died. No problem. But yeah, man, if I can come out, I know the schedule's busy. If I can find some free time when I'm there, I definitely want to come out and see what y'all got going on, man.
You gonna find some time.
What was that?
You gonna find some time.
Well, listen. Like I said, I'm a man of my word, and I can't put my word on it if I ain't show. But it's a lot of people I gotta see, because with living here, man, it's crazy. And with all my family down there, I got to make sure I put in time. But I feel what you're saying. I can put in time, but we got to see how that work out. And
even if you could come out for 5-10 minutes just to get a tester.
A tester.
Yeah. Even if it's 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then you could be out.
Gotcha. We got Coach LB back.
I had some technical difficulties, man.
It's all good. We all have them. It's all good. We're gonna wrap up a little bit. I just wanna again say thank you for gracing us with your presence, gracing us with your knowledge, gracing us with the intellect, giving us a little bit about your business. Everybody, please, anybody that's listening, that's looking for a trainer, and not just to train, just to train physically and to look good. Like he said earlier, it's all about the mental. He cares, and then you don't see that too much in the training industry where somebody actually cares. They out there looking for $1, and everything that was said on this podcast today, he's not looking for $1. He hasn't once mentioned money, so he cares about what's going on. Check out his social medias from the Snapchat, Facebook, I said Snapchat. What's the other ones? Instagram, Pinterest,
Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all
All of
please
that.
go check him out. Again, I want to say thank you. We appreciate you. We would love to have you back. We already discussed that we're going to have you back anyway. And I can't wait to see what we got for the future.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me, man. And to everybody who's listening, I just want to let you guys know consequence is the result of action. So whether you choose to do something or whether you choose not to do something, there's still a consequence. So that's pretty much it, man. I appreciate you guys having me on, man. And I thank you so much for the opportunity.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
hey, thank you for coming on, fam.
No doubt, man.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it. I do.
So to close out this family talk, it's your boy B.
Chef Jimbo.
And we'll get back at you when we can.
All right, y'all.
We'll talk to y'all.
Peace.